Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Devin, and welcome back here to the channel. As you can see, I am back in my office with some few additions. For example, I got Squirtle, y'all. Like, this is like the cutest Squirtle I've ever seen. I went to like an arts market this morning, and I had to buy it. Like, look at that shell. It is adorable, people. This was 15 bucks, and for another 5 bucks, I got the Pokeball. I had to combine the two. They knew what they were doing. Smart on them. So, cost me 20 bucks, well worth it. Welcome to the family, Squirtle, in the anime collection here. And then, as you guys can see, this I'm very proud of. I finally framed my NASM personal transportation. I know, like, round of applause, like, woo, go Devin. Oh my God, Devin, that was so much hard work. You did it, yay. I know, but like, I finally framed it. Like, I had this a year now. I got this in May 2020, and I'm just now putting it in the frame. I'm very proud of myself for that. However, for my certification being a nutrition coach, I cannot speak the same. I mean, I got this in November, I was certified, so maybe this November I might finally find a frame for it. I don't know, but this one needs a frame also as well. So today's video, what we are going to be discussing is the importance of self-talk. So I'm going to be talking about self-talk from like positive self-talk versus negative self-talk, how positive is usually better than negative. Based off of my experience, I'm going to show it as an example. I do want to say though that this usually works for countries that value individualism, such as the United States, which the majority of you guys are from. However, if you are from a country somewhere, like for example, in East Asia that values collectivism, then it actually might be reversed. Studies have shown that negative self-talk will actually be beneficial to you. I also do want to say I am not a professional therapist, so if you're dealing with mental health issues or like depression, anything like those matters, please speak to a professional therapist, as I am not one. So, here's, oh my God, Squirtle. I knocked over Squirtle. Okay, so here's where my journey of self-talk started. So here's a story of childhood trauma, right? So when I was 8 years old, my parents were both Marines, and we lived in Southern California on Camp Pendleton. So my dad got stationed somewhere like in Stockton, right, in California, like in Central California. And my mom, to move with us, she got out of the Army and just became like a military wife, pretty much, right? So we moved to Stockton. By the time I was 9 years old, my parents split, and that was it. But that's not, that's not where the self-talk negative came in, because I was happy they got divorced, I was happy, no more arguments. I didn't have to hear. I just want them to be their own people, not like they have to be forced to be together. So I didn't want that. So I was happy that they got divorced. So during the time they were split though, my mom, like I said, she was out of the military. She was out of Marines. So she decided to get back into the military. So she joined the Army, and she got stationed here in Fort Bliss, which makes sense because I live in El Paso, Texas, which Fort Bliss is located, right? So my mom joined the Army. She went to basic training and all that. So she couldn't like get us yet because she joined the military to be able to get custody of us, right? So my dad, who's also Marine, we were still, like my brothers and I, we were still in Stockton, California, West On Ranch. So pretty much what had happened is that he brought his mom from Ohio, it's like my grandma, to California to help us out, right? Or to help him out, I should say. And now I just want to say, I understand a lot of people have very loving and caring relationships with their grandmas, right? I get that. I see all the memes, them cooking for you and all that and loving you. However, this is not going to be that kind of story, okay? The worst relationship I've ever had in my life that had such a negative effect on my life that even through adulthood still bothered me was the one I had with my grandma. So pretty much the way she treated me versus the way she treated my brothers was completely different, a 180, right? Like, she treated my brothers, who were all 2 years apart from each other, like angels. Like, they could do no wrong at all. Me? She treated me like I was Satan himself. It was so bad. And I've went through lots of types or forms of abuse with her. I went through physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse. I went through all of that with this woman. To paint a picture of where I lived, it was a cul-de-sac. So just think of Ed, and Eddie, for example, right? You had the Eds, you had Eddie, you had Jimmy, you had Rolf, you had Kevin, you have all of these like males, right? And the two females that live in the cul-de-sac, or like the kids wise, is Sarah and Naz, pretty much. The only two. That's literally what I lived through, okay? Everyone in our cul-de-sac were guys. We had Victor, you had Randy, you had Navja, you had Arwen, you had Michael, you had Christian, you had Gabriel, you had Donovan. You had all of these males, right? Like, all of them are males. The only two exceptions, also Kenny, because Kenny's sister, Kariana, and me were the only females in the cul-de-sac, right? My grandma would try to force me to play with her, right? Like I said, I've been very tomboyish my entire life. My entire life. The other girl, her, she was not so much, like, yeah, she might play sports here and there, but she was mainly inside. She was mainly playing with dolls or playing with the Easy Bake. And my grandma would force me to go play with her because I'm a girl. It's either I'm playing with her outside sometimes or I'm in the house, because she would refuse to let me go outside and play with my friends, go play Super Smash Bros. With them, go play wall ball, go play football, basketball, whatever it was. There was lots of times she refused to let me play because I'm a girl and girls don't do those kind of things. Anything guy related, she did not want me doing. She's put Berettas in my hair. I hate those with a passion. She's put those hairs to make me feel girly because you're a girl. There's even times where I was just grounded for no reason. I went to my brother's football practice and I was grounded for a month because of that. And I was in 100-degree weather and she refused to give me a fan. I had to complain to my mom. And she went off on my dad to get me a fan in my room if they're gonna ground me, that I better be in some cool weather conditions, not blazing hot. So those are just some of the forms, right, of the things. What really stuck with me though is the things that she would say to me. So like I said, she would do these things or constantly say, you're not a boy, Devin. You're not a boy, Devin. You're a girl. Boys do this, girls do this. You're not a boy, you're a girl, right? It wasn't even just that aspect, it was also the aspect, it's like every day she told me she hates me. I'm not even exaggerating. She would tell me all the time how much she hated me, how stupid I am. Like, it was just even thinking about it, I was a stressful ass kid, okay? Just imagine someone is doing your hair, telling you how much they hate you and how dumb you are, while they're pulling on your hair, combing it to make it look more girly, putting those stupid beads and Berettas in your hair, okay? Like, I was stressed as a kid. It was not a fun time, but a lot of that stuck with me. Living with my grandma was horrible. If there's any time I can get out the house, I would. I did not want to be in there. I didn't want to speak to her. I didn't want to talk to her. The only time she was ever nice to me was when she gave me money for ice cream after I bought her cigarettes from like the neighbors, like at Kenny and Kariana's house. I would go to their house to buy cigarettes from like their older brother, and I'd give it to my grandma because my grandma smoked goodness, probably like a pack a day. That's me being conservative. And she gave me money for ice cream. That was the only time my grandma was ever nice to me. Like I said, with my brothers, she was a saint to them. There's just too many instances where my brothers were like yelling or screaming, and then my grandma was saying nothing. But if I spoke up, then she's just going at it with me. I remember, I'll never forget the one moment I had where we're talking about something. We're going back and forth, and she just went, pop, and just slapped me. And she slapped me. You had the reaction. You about hit someone back, and she went, pop, I went like that, but I didn't. My dad happened to see that portion, and I got in trouble for that. She's the one who hit me, which was not the only occasion at all, but I got to blame for that. Like, it was just, apparently everything was my fault around that time with my grandma. Like, everything was my fault, right? But pretty much all that, like, hatred and the way she would speak to me, I manifested that self, or what she'll say, I manifested that within myself. Like, that's when the negative self-talk really started playing a part. Even throughout my whole high school or like adulthood, it was still there. One of my triggers is the feeling of being dumb. Like, me personally, I know I'm not dumb. I think I'm a very smart person. However, if I get this feeling, I feel like I'm being dumb or I feel stupid, like that's when it really starts to trigger that self-talk. And this is how it gets on with weight loss. So I'm going to explain pretty much how this negative self-talk carried into my weight loss journey. Okay, so I've been on like several weight loss journeys since high school, right? And every time I'll lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, I felt like, oh, it is what it is. Even with the whole fasting thing, when I gained like majority of weight back, I was just like, it didn't work out for me. However, when I became a certified personal trainer or a nutrition coach, that's when things got insanely different for me. I felt so much extra pressure because, like, if y'all saw the video of Obese to Beast's reaction to my fasting video, pretty much go to the comments. He was great, you know, but in the comments section, that was like the number one thing I got was like, oh my God, how's she a personal trainer? I get those comments all the time, like, how dare she be a personal trainer? She's not in shape herself. I still get it on my original video of me just being a certified personal trainer, my 3 values that I have. I get that a lot. And it's just, that played a huge, huge factor where it was like, all right, Devin, you're not losing weight. You're supposed to be a certified personal trainer. You want to help people on their journeys, but you're not doing it yourself. So that negative talk came huge. And especially when I went through like a whole depression thing, like in December, I gained some weight. I was like, you know what? It was just horrible. It was super bad. Just the way I valued the scale was horrible. Like, if I gained a pound overnight, in which I know I did not eat 3,500 calories that day, but I had like a slice of pizza, for example, or 2 slices, let's be real, like 2 slices of pizza, just all that sodium. So I gained a pound the next day. If I ate it like late at night, I was just in a very bad mood. I was afraid of eating certain things all the time. It was stressing me out. I was like, I can't lose weight. I'm supposed to be a certified personal trainer, but I'm not losing weight. And it was horrible. So I was like, all right, I break the month, rest of December and January, I did not weigh myself in that kind of sense. What made it worse, what made this worse for me came the end of January, where I got injured or I had these problems and these pains. At the end of January, it got so bad for me. It got horrible for me. Like, because not only am I a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach, I, 1, am struggling to lose weight, and 2, I am now injured. Like, just because I had these certifications just made everything in my head 1,000 times worse. It was just, your girl was going through a huge depression, okay? And then in March, I was still dealing with these injuries, and I turned 25. I like quarter life crisis, I guess, when I turned 25 on top of this. Like, I was having mental breakdowns at least once daily, like for a good hour, just crying. There was days I didn't even get up, or I didn't want to get up. It was just so bad. And my self-talk to myself this whole time was like, Devin, you're so stupid, you're dumb, you're worthless. Just that self-hatred. I look at like self-hatred for myself during this time. I was like, Devin, you know these things. You know what to do. Why are you not doing these things? So that played a huge part. Like, it was just horrible. So how I turned this around was last month. Even before I went to physical therapy and started realizing what was going on with my body, and now physical therapy is doing wonders for me. I feel so much better. This happened after Dallas, because in Dallas, I had a very bad breakdown. It was horrible. Your girl was talking about running away. Like, it was really bad. My mental state was horrible. It was like, no one loves you, everybody hates you, your grandma was right about you, you're worthless, you should hate yourself because she hated you. It was about you're dumb, you're stupid, can't do nothing right. So it was bad. It was definitely a bad situation for me, but luckily got together. Thank you, McKaylin, so much. My fiance is the best. Like, she is just the absolute best, okay? And when we got back to Dallas, I had a real honest conversation with myself. Yes, I did have this conversation out loud. That is not the point. The point is I had this real deep, honest conversation where I sat myself down. So where does that sound? I sat myself down and I was like, Devin, let's be real here. You had quite a traumatic childhood. Because my grandma is just one slice of the trauma I dealt with. Your girl's been through a lot. But I was like, you've been through a lot of trauma here, okay? And I know your grandma played a huge part of that. However, I don't think the way you're going is what's going to work for you. You are not to blame about the way your grandma treated you. It is not your fault at all. And especially because I can't get any kind of comfort from her or any kind of closure because she's dead now. Like, she died December 2019. Months before I was trying to get closure for everything that happened, 'cause my dad and I planned to go to Ohio like that spring in 2020 last year. She died in December. So I get zero closure. So it's like, it's not your fault. You could try to even somewhat rationalize, because I was told that, like, by my mom, like I resemble her daughter that died, like in 96, I believe, the year I was born. But that does not excuse her behavior whatsoever. I can try to understand, but it does not excuse it. But I was like, you're obviously the victim here. You're not at fault for what happened to you when you're 9 years old, when you're 10 years old. It is not your fault. However, it is your responsibility to get better, because only you are dealing with this. I mean, for one, she's dead. She's not dealing with anything at all. Even when she was alive, she acted like nothing happened. Like, literally, we moved January 3rd, 2007. I have never seen her again after that. But like in 2008, she's trying to speak to me like, oh my God, you're so sweet. Oh my God, I love you. You're so smart. Now every time my dad will be on the phone with her, that's what she says about me now. She acted like nothing happened, you know? So it was a mess. It was, oh my God. It was just, I could not with her afterwards, you know? But it's like, I'm not getting kind of closure at all, but it's my responsibility to deal with it and to grow from it and become better from it. It's my responsibility to take care of my mental health. My mental health is my responsibility. So I started getting more into positive self-talk. And for me, it's just a form of like, you know what, Devin, everything is going to be okay. And I cried. I had a whole moment with myself. I'm not sure if I hugged myself. I don't think I went to that extreme. But I was looking in the mirror and I just like nodded my head. And I was just like, everything is going to be okay. And ever since then, my way I view myself, it's just been so much more better. Just adding that positive self-talk, not like a gratitude journal. I tried those kind of things. Those things didn't work for me either. But in the sense, when I'm feeling down, just like, everything is going to be okay, Devin. Because it's easy to be happy. You can do it, yeah, when you're in a good mood. But when you're in a bad mood, when you're really going through it, it's that positive self-talk that's going to get you through it, right? Because I know I am not the only person here. I know a lot of us deals with this. When we're going through some kind of stress, some kind of anxiety, whatever, or like depression, we turn to food. We don't deal with it well, and we turn to food to kind of cope with that, which I'm going to do a video on coping later on. But it's like, that's what we usually do, right? But for me, just that positive self-talk, I'm not trying to turn to food or anything like that. I'm loving myself a lot more. Not that I didn't love myself before, but I'm not having that self-hating talk. Like, I'm not doing that anymore. And just a positive self-talk. The way you talk to yourself is hella important. It's probably one of the most important relationships you have is with yourself. To be honest, the way you see yourself, the way you talk to yourself. What matters a lot is when you're going through it, how you talk to yourself, right? And not only just that, but just not trying to bring past events into it, right? So like a lot of us, in my experience, what we would do is, for example, say you tried lots of diets in the past, right? You try lots of diets. And it's like this, what you're doing, it can be working for you. You could be losing weight. You can eat this way for the rest of your life. However, if in the back of your mind, you feel like, well, you know what? I failed every other diet. What makes this one a good one? You're kind of bringing that into existence where you know what, now you're going to fail this, not because it's not working for you, but because you believe it's not going to work for you. So even bringing all this baggage that you had in the past, maybe the type of exercises you did not work for you, the type of way you're eating did not work for you. Bringing that into the future is gonna play a factor on your weight loss journey. If you think because you failed so many times in the past that this one's gonna fail, well, guess what? This one is going to fail too because you think it is. I think one of the most beneficial things I got out of positive self-talk is the way I view the scale. Like, I view the scale as enemies, but now we're like besties, you know? Like, I weigh myself like every day, and I don't have an issue with that now. I don't see it as like, oh, that's my worth, you're stupid, you're dumb. Even if I gained a pound or two. For example, when I came back from Orlando last week, I wasn't mad at myself because I gained 2 pounds. I was like, well, thanks for letting me know. I know I did a pretty good job in Atlanta. I know I kept it together, kept it control. I appreciate myself for trying. You'll get through this. Don't worry about it. And I don't. Now the scale's going back down, you know, after I gained those 2 pounds. Like, I'm not tripping about that. And that just shows what self-talk can do in a positive sense. I'm not saying, you know, like, if you're having a really bad day, just talk nicely about yourself. Just say you love yourself. Like, I'm not saying that at all. Of course, obviously, that's not going to be the end-all, be-all situation. But I'm sure a lot of us know that if you're down, beating yourself more the way you talk to yourself is not going to help. You know, if you're having a bad day, you saying how much your day sucks, how much you are a bad person, what's wrong with you, you hate yourself, you don't deserve it, you don't deserve that. You know that negative self-talk is not going to help you. So the positive self-talk, it might take everything away, make sure everything's okay, but it's pretty so significant to your weight loss journey, be so beneficial to your weight loss journey. Even though when you mess up, per se, that you just know it's going to be okay. Your tough self is going to be okay, and some of that stress is definitely going to go away. And also, don't forget instructional self-talk, especially if you're working out, for example. So pretty much like cues such as, you know, bend your knees, control the weight. Those kind of cues can help you with your performance, because you're telling yourself, okay, don't forget this, you got this, check. It's kind of like a checklist in your head. You're giving yourself cues to remember how to perform an exercise. So performance-wise, especially instructional, but overall mental health is going to be with positive self-talk. And you know, everybody's self-talk is different. You got to figure out what helps you the most. For me, it's like, everything is going to be okay. But for other people, like, let's go, you got this, push through, you can do it. For some people, that's theirs, you know? So just whatever works best for you, find that out. And one of the main tips I can say is like, keep it short. You know, you don't want to give yourself like a whole speech. It's like a whole monologue on it. Just keep it very short, like a little mantra. Keep saying to yourself over and over again, especially if you're performing some kind of exercise. I would say, especially keep it short, would definitely be more beneficial. So thank y'all so much here for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below if you ever suffered with self-talk, or if you haven't and you love the positive self-talk you give yourself, let people know maybe what you say might work for others. Who knows? So thank you so much for watching, and may the scale be with you.